The movie begins with someone saying that his mother passed long ago and now he is just pretending to be okay. That someone is Addison. We then jump into Addison, who is hanging out with a girl named Phoebe. He is excited as he is on his way to mail his application to his favorite university. Both are filming the entire thing. After it, they go to a coffee shop to grab some drinks. Their friend Kevin works there and makes sure Addison treats Phoebe right. Once back in the car, Addison expresses his worry of her dating him will make her break away from the cool kids at school. But she turns to it and gets serious. She reveals to him that she doesn't want to head to college without having made love once in her life. Also with a guy in the same situation, Addison tries to pretend he is not virgin and she stops his rambling as she knows. She then tells him she wants to do it now and both excited drive away. Meanwhile, a man arrives on a motorcycle and walks into the coffee shop they just left and we hear a gunshot. Moments later, the dear couple finally makes love for the first time. Meanwhile, Addison's father is in the kitchen when he notices the news. They talk about the coffee shop being robbed and Kevin being killed. Addison and Phoebe finally finish and Addison realizes his dad tried to call. Phoebe's mom then also calls and deliver her the sad news. In shock, Addison hurries to the crime scene. A stranger tells him Kevin was probably in a gang. That's why he was shot. That seems to be the narrative the medias are using. He then sees his best friend's body being carried to the ambulance. The young man is destroyed inside. The next day, Phoebe is watching the news. Her mother comes in and believes her daughter should go see a psychiatrist after this incident. But Phoebe doesn't want to. Meanwhile, Addison's dad checks on his son, but he doesn't want to talk about it and leaves. At school, the police questions every student and Addison tells them that Kevin was not in a gang. The school then organizes a huge gathering to remember Kevin. Addison is not feeling right. He is visibly affected by the death of his friend. He then can't contain himself, so he stands up and lashes out on everybody saying that he heard that they will write this off as a gang murder, which means they will not try to even find the killer. The principal had enough and calls him to his office to reprimand him. But Addison isn't done. After school, he goes to the police to speak to Detective Thompson, responsible of the case. He repeats to him that Kevin wasn't in a gang, but Thompson kicks him off the station for wasting his time. This is the point of non-return for Addison, who takes matter in his own hands to find the killer. He puts out flyers around the school. He also goes to Phoebe asking for her help, but she thinks he is going crazy. She believes maybe the trauma of losing his mother early this year is making him react like that to what happened to Kevin. The next day, a student by the name of Bo takes Phoebe aside. He tells her he was at the coffee shop when it happened. He thinks he saw something. The one who killed Kevin was white. He adds that Kevin was hanging out with a guy named Noah who is involved with very dangerous people. Hearing all of that, Phoebe asks Bo to not say a thing to Addison, because it will push him in his investigations. Meanwhile, Addison's dad reprimands his son because the principal had a talk with him about the flyer. The dad asks his son to stop for his safety. Who knows where this will lead. The next day, he goes to Phoebe and tells her he has a huge urge of making love to her again. So the two go back to his house and do exactly that. Days go by and the couple is falling more and more in love with each other. One day, the school find out he stole Kevin files from their database and they expel him for a week. He goes straight to Phoebe and tells her that now he has no choice, he has the time and he will figure it out. The next day, Phoebe goes to his house but he is really not in the mood. She worries about him. Addison is so destroyed, realizing nobody, not even him, will be able to solve this case. She then breaks down and tells him what she heard Bo. She repeats that the guy who killed Kevin was white and that he was hanging out with Noah. Addison immediately jumps into his car with Phoebe. He documents everything, saying that they are on their way to meet their old friend Noah. While driving in the neighborhood, their car gets hit and Phoebe really panics as it looks sketchy around. They then arrive at the location and are shocked at how crappy the place looks. D. Cash welcomes them and brings them to Noah. They are surprised to see what he became. Addison then asks him if he knows what happened to Kevin, but D. Cash gets mad and kicks them out. On their way back, Addison is sorry for that and Phoebe doesn't want to be a part of it anymore. The following day, Kevin's parents call Addison to meet. He goes to them and they want to know why is he so into his investigation as they saw the flyers. The dad then shows what he found in Kevin's room, drugs. Addison is shocked. The dad then gets violent with him, asking if he is the one who was supplying drugs to his son. The mom stops him and Addison runs away. He then realizes maybe he is trying to solve something that can't be solved. That same night, Addison gets a call from D. Cash. He gives him a place to meet. Once at location, D. Cash is with Noah. He offers him a deal. He wants Addison to deliver some drugs to someone and he will give him the name of the person who knows who killed Kevin. He also adds that Kevin said the wrong things to the wrong guy. Addison then accepts and delivers the drugs. He's shocked that it was for a friend from school. After it, D. Cash gives him the guy's name, Mike. He was there when Kevin disrespected that guy. He calls Phoebe right away, giving him Mike's address. She wants him to call the police, but Addison is stubborn, so he goes to Mike's house by himself. He lets his camera recording by his car. Anxious, he goes to knock on the door. Mike opens and Addison is scared, but he asks about Kevin. He wants to know the dealer his friend pissed off. Mike gets angry, asking who gave him his name. Addison doesn't want to say it, but Mike pressures him and he says it was D. Cash. Addison then sees the motorcycle of that day near the house and Mike points a gun at him. He screams at him, "You have no idea who Kevin pissed off that night." He then reveals that the dealer Kevin pissed off was D. Cash. He adds that D. Cash played him. D. Cash was the one who sent Mike to kill Kevin. Police then arrives and Mike shoots Addison, who collapses. He is immediately rushed to the hospital. While being transported, the memories of his mother are coming to him. The next day, his father comes by his side. He watches the recordings of his son. Moments later, Addison wakes up and asks to see Phoebe. She arrives and informs him that police has caught Mike. They saw his gun and believes it was the gun used to kill Kevin. She adds that they also caught D. Cash. Addison is relieved and thanks Phoebe, as she is the one who called the police with Mike's address. He also realizes Kevin's parents left a letter on his table. Kevin's funeral then takes place days later. Addison makes his final recording of the investigation with his closing thoughts. The movie ends with Addison telling Phoebe he is leaving for college. She gives him a ticket she paid for him to travel to his university, wishing him good luck, and he kisses her with such passion. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe and check out other movie summaries we have on our channel.